Hello, everybody. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to my message. Today, I just want to talk about myself a little bit. I'm 42 years old and I started making videos probably 3 years ago. You can check it in my video history. I never made I didn't make videos before, or I was not a person in the social media. And I never talked about narcissism and the psychopathy and the pathological side of psychology. I was interested in psychology, yes, all my life in psychology, philosophy, in many things. But I never talked or educated myself about the pathological side. I thought narcissist is a funny person and a psychopath is a dangerous person, and they're not playing a part in my life, and I don't have to educate myself about this. Yeah, and I don't want to talk about this today. No, just about the basics. Back to basics, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's, I live in Germany. We have 0 to 10 degree in the time of November now. So it's not below 0, but it's already a little bit cold. Yet I do not use the heater for myself. So the place I live, the flat, I don't use the heater there, okay? When my kids are with me, they are with me 50% of the time. Basically, in my case, I have them all the time except of 2 days. Every 2 weeks, I have 2 days free, and one of these days is today. So for my kids, of course, I use the heater, but for myself, I don't use it until now. I do this by keeping the inner fire lit, and I learned this from Wim Hof, a crazy flying Dutchman. You need to understand everybody is controversial, and the Wim Hof method is a breathing technique with exposure to cold, voluntarily exposure to cold. And since I worked as a gardener for at least 20 years, and in private companies that require a lot of performance, physical performance, it changed for me the way I perceive cold. So cold was not anymore something that is undesirable, and when it's there, I am just a victim. No, it made me actively being able to deal with this in a proactive way. So cold was not that problem anymore. Because when you do the breathing exercise in the morning, you start the day with breathing exercise and take a cold shower and do the cold exposure. When you are in a situation where you feel cold, you just start activating your breathing method, like breathing in the belly, breathing in the underbelly. So it just saturates your blood with oxygen. And so I also, when I wake up like today, of course, when you get out of the bed, you would like to turn on the heater and get it warm, but instead you can do a workout, a breathing session, a workout, a cold shower, going outside, going running, and then you can make it quite long in the day without having any problem, without using the heater, right? You know, when I think it was 38, I pushed it so far, the Wim Hof method. At the end, I was able to go running when it was snowing in the forest. I was running with just short pants and shoes, of course, and a beanie on my head. I had one. But I was running really with only that, okay? And it was a great feeling. I was running for like maybe 45 minutes in the cold and my skin turned red. But I did not feel bad or threatened. It was crazy. And the looks you get from people are priceless. And when you come home, you turn on the shower on cold and it feels warm. I promise you, the cold shower in winter time feels warm. When you're coming in from a 45-minute run in the snow with nothing but short pants and a beanie and shoes. You know, Wim Hof went on the Mount Everest and he made it to 6,000 meters with only shoes and a short pant. This man. Yeah, but I said he's controversial because, you know, his method has helped and saved a lot of people, but never do his exercise combined with water when you're alone. So you should never do breathing, then hold your breath when you're exposed to water and you're alone. You can die, you can pass out, okay? So just be careful and don't push yourself too much. There were times when I caught a cold because of taking a cold shower. So you need to learn to know your body and slowly push yourself, but you can adapt to everything. It takes time, but your whole body gets rearranged and creates structures that help you to heat you up, and at some point you can do things you did not ever believe your body is able to do, like going outside in the winter, breaking the ice and go for a bath in this cold water, and go running with nothing but a short pant in the winter. Yeah. See, the industry in our society wants us weak and degenerated. They want us to be dependent on the heater, dependent on cars, dependent on clothes that are highly technologically evolved. And this makes us sick. So we will easily catch a cold when our body is not able to regulate strong differences in temperature. So we are supposed, our body should be adapted to go in, you know, very hot environment and very cold environment, and is able to regulate. The challenge, it's the blood vessels. You train the blood vessels, you train the sweat, the mental, the breathing, everything, okay? But when your body is just always in the same comfortable environment, the slightest exception can get you sick and ill because you don't have a strong immunity system then. So the industry and the society wants us dependent of all these products. And it goes on. They want us dependent of the medic that we then have to take to fix the problems that we have because we are degenerated. Okay. It's the same, you know, you get the same is when you go out, leave the comfort zone, go in the cold, push your limits, go through the pain of working out, of running extended periods, just going for a walk, a long walk, whatever. This creates moments of bliss, peace, and absolute just feeling one with everything. The same is with spiritual warfare. You have to learn about spiritual warfare to have periods of peace. But if you want to evade everything, if you go the shortcut all the time, if you want the easy way out, you live in your fantasy, you live in a dream world, it means you're running away from the true purpose of your body and your mind. You are built to resist dangers. You are built to resist the cold. You are built to go out there, expose yourself to these things. And as a reward, you get something, all right? Something real, something that nobody can take away from you. Yeah, just wanted to share this with you, but you know, because I'm just speaking the obvious, right? I know you know. Yeah. And somebody asked me how long I was practicing Yong Chun. It's the correct way to spell Wing Chun. The Chinese way to speak it is Yong Chun, something like that. It means eternal spring. It's Kung Fu, Chinese Kung Fu. And I practice it from my age of 16 till 30 probably, which is like 14, 15 years, actively, both in private training sessions with my Shifu, my teacher, and in group sessions weekly, as well as with a friend that is, I think, doing Yong Chun to this day. So I actively trained it for like 15 years, but it changed me forever. It is a philosophy, it is a way of life, of understanding. Wing Chun is one of these things that are sealed for people who are too greedy or self-absorbed or entitled or egotistic. So you need an inclusive mindset. You need to be humble, and you will be humbled over and over and over and over again. And you can only unlock the deeper truth of this when you're not coming in and think, oh, now I can do it. Oh, I can do Wing Chun. Now come at me. I am the shit, you know. This is not the way it works for Wing Chun. Yeah, and for me it changed the way I use my body. I learned the angles, and it's very healthy for your body, the movements, if you do it correctly. It helped me to get through my gardening 20 years without having physical problems. It changes the way I move. You know, you can use it in any situation at all times. And it changed the way I think, and even the way I speak, probably. Because you just learn things from it. You know, you have this center line, and if somebody attacks you, you realize most attacks don't really hit you. And this you can transfer it to life. You know, when you have a big ego, when you make yourself big and rigid, everybody can hit you. But when you're flexible and you just know that it's just your central line that you really have to guard, and you can move the center line, right? You learn to move. See, it's like bamboo, living bamboo. It can't be broken, it can't be, you know, only the rigid, old, dry piece of wood will break, but not the living bamboo, okay? So, yeah, the Wing Chun, it's good. Yeah, so I just wanted to share some of my craziness, my insanity, the cold, the Wim Hof breathing, the Wing Chun. There's other things that are very good for you, traditional archery, but everything is not for everybody. You know, Wing Chun, by the way, is a principle. It's one core principle that is infinite, and when a person comes to unlock it, every human being is different, has a different understanding and a different body. So everybody will express a different way of Wing Chun. And the same is with everything. So this is why it's funny when people argue about the truth and the right ways, because it's not there. There are principles, there are eternal divine principles, and Wing Chun captures one of these divine principles for me that are sealed for people who are too greedy and think it's all in the perfection of a physical form. No. But archery, probably music, but I'm not musically educated, so I'm not playing any musical, instruments. But I believe there are a lot of things that have this nature, that they are a divine principle, and everybody has a different way to express it. But it's only open in its depth for those who are humble, not greedy, persistent, inclusive mindset. So yeah, Wing Chun is one of this archery, traditional archery, and a lot of things. This is why we don't have to be afraid that some things are being used by the wrong people, because the wrong people can't really unlock it. They can't really get the deeper meanings. Only when they are humbled, when they are ready. All right? And this is why Yeshua was talking in parables too, and why his teaching cannot be used by the wrong people. I mean, there is people, of course, who use the Bible and whatever Jesus did and what he said to mislead people, consciously or unconsciously. I don't want to get into this too deep, but what I want to say, the true principle of Yeshua, the unconditional love, it cannot be abused. Either you have it, either you feel it and you share it. But when you have a sense of discernment, you feel when somebody is faking this, okay? So we don't have to be afraid that anybody can use the true things against us, because only those will unlock the deeper secrets who are humbled, who have understood something. All right? So stay blessed, that's it. One more thing I want to share is today I'm taking a day off from training. So this exists too for me. I did a little bit to get my inner flame burning today. But today is Sunday, so I might serve Jah with gladness, you know, maybe getting prayed up. We had full moon. But see, yeah, I always say we have to parent ourselves, and I am a very strict father to myself. I push me every day. I overtrain definitely. I almost do these workout routines every day. But at sometimes, you know, everybody needs to find her own balance to keep them healthy and able to perform over long distances, over a long time, by knowing yourself. What do you need to eat? When you feel this way, what do you do? How do you compensate? How do you get balance? What do you need to do? Man, there's so much to learn. It's amazing. Life is amazing. Keep blazing.